Parker and Susanna present Little Newsies.
Hey you! Are you 4? I am, and my name's Bram, and I'm 4!
And I'm Jake, Bram's dad, but some people call me BoxerBlu. Blah! And here is the news.
Hi everybody, this is the first time we've ever done this show outside of the country. We're so far away.
Bram, we're actually, just over the border.
Are we in Mexico?
No. We're in Canada. We're actually in Quebec. We're in Montreal. Isn't that great?
Oh, yes. Sorry. Yes, so we're in Quebec, and it's really cool so far. Like, my favorite thing so far is the poutine. Have you ever tried that? Oh my gosh, it's so good. And in Montreal, they have this place where they have really good beef and stuff. It's called Schwartz. You gotta try it.
Okay. Anyway, today is December 24th. It's Christmas Eve. I love Christmas. It's like one of my favorite holidays. Like the snow falls down, and you look at all the little snowflakes, and you make some snowmen and snow dogs and all kinds of stuff. It's pretty cool. Today's December 24th, and it's Christmas Eve, and we're still doing this podcast. We're gonna start off with the news right away. Are you ready?
Yes.
So, we're gonna start off with some sad news. There was a man. He was a scientist. He worked for IBM. His name was George Laurer. He passed away.
Oh gosh! All the time we talk about all these sad things happening. You know, I don't like that.
Yes, but it's very important, Bram, that we remember important people, right?
Yes, I know.
So, have you ever noticed, Bram, or anybody out there, when you go to the grocery store, you ring a thing called a barcode.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Yes, and some trivia, George H.W. Bush.
Is that like, I don't know who that is.
It doesn't matter. He was a president before Bill Clinton. He actually did not know scanning items by barcode was actually very, very common.
Who cares?
That's a very good point. But anyway, George J. Laurer worked for IBM, and he had this idea, instead of using circles, which was the original idea for the barcodes that came out in the 1940s or so, he had an idea to create a barcode that used lines like they're used today.
Oh, wow. What was the first item ever scanned?
Well, that's interesting you ask. In 1974, an executive from, it doesn't matter where exactly, but an executive bought a package of gum, I believe a 10-pack of Wrigley's gum for 67 cents.
Oh, wow.
Douche.
So I know we talk about extinct animals. We actually are talking about 2 animals today, believe it or not. Starting with this one, there's an animal called the great auk.
Oh, yes. We've talked about the great auk before. It's kind of like a penguin / duck or something like that.
Yeah, well, it was, but they all died. In 1844 is the last time anybody saw one. It was in Iceland, actually, the last time anyone saw one. The problem was that people were, they ate this animal, the auk, quite a bit. The meat and they used it for bait and things like that to catch other animals, and the fat and the eggs and all this stuff.
Okay, but we know this already. Where's the news? I don't exactly understand.
Oh, well, what's interesting is that they did some studies to find out, because people thought maybe it was like climate change, maybe I don't know, some temperatures or something like that caused the great auk to die. But actually, they realized that it really was basically humans who did it.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad.
Yes, ironically.
Oh. You know the word ironically?
Oh, I don't, but I say it sometimes.
I think you're using the word correctly. Irony is when you kind of, you are making there's different types of irony, let's put it that way. And often it's used in a sarcastic way when you're saying the opposite of what you mean.
Yes, but in this case, that's not the type of irony that I'm talking about. The irony that I'm talking about is something different, more like situational irony.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
The point is that at some point before the auk died, some museums around the world started, spreading the word to preserve them. But actually, that caused more of them to die because people started killing them for the museums.
Oh my gosh, that's so terrible.
Yes, it is.
Douche. So our next bit of news takes place in Location 16. I believe it's the second time we've ever talked about Location 16.
Oh, you must mean Madagascar, that island right off of Africa, right in the southeast.
Oh, yes, in fact, I do. So there was a dinosaur that there are many fossils there of this dinosaur. He's actually the only known cannibal.
Cannibal! Oh my gosh, what is a cannibal? Cannibal, I don't know what that word is.
Oh, a cannibal, it means an animal, or could be a human too, that eats its own kind.
Oh my gosh!
So yes, this animal, the Majungasaurus crenatissimus, actually would eat its own kind.
Oh gosh, is that the news?
No, the news is that they've discovered like tens of thousands of this animal's teeth, this dinosaur's teeth, and they realized that these dinosaurs, they went through tons of teeth. And it sort of worked like I think it was the New York Times, or this like ice cream cone stacked on top of each other, and it's very similar to what you see in crocodiles and sharks today. And so they just lost all of these teeth, but they regrew really, really fast. It's kind of crazy, don't you think? Douche.
So this is a little weird, but I just want to tell you, there's this town in Japan. It's on the island of Shikoku, yes, and it's a little town called Nagoro, and they haven't had any kids there for a long time.
Oh, that's so sad. I hear that's a problem in several places, including the United States. I believe that the population of children is going down.
Yes, I don't know why. We kids are great, aren't we, kids? Yeah, we are. So anyway, in this town, basically, there are about 24, about 24, I guess, adults that live there, and there are no kids, as I said, and they have hundreds of giant dolls to make up for it.
Oh, that sounds kind of interesting, kind of strange.
Yeah, so they're like 350 dolls, and they're all made by Tsukimi Ayono and her friends, and they have them playing like a sports day together, sitting in schools and classes and stuff like that.
This actually kind of sounds creepy to me.
Creepy. I don't even know what creepy means.
Oh, creepy is when it's like scary, but very slowly scary, if that makes sense. Like the clown statue story.
Oh, don't tell that story again. That was a very creepy story. Yes.
Douche. So, our final story today is all about another endangered animal. There's a little bit of news about, it's more of like developing story. We don't really know, but did you know that there used to be an American parrot?
American Parrot! I like that song. No, I didn't know that.
Yes, so it was called the Carolina parakeet, and John James Audubon, who was very famous for studying birds. He was a real birder, a bird watcher. In 1830, he discovered this parakeet. It's very beautiful. It's like a red-headed parakeet. And, about 100 years later, it was totally gone. The very last one of these was in 1918. It died in a Cincinnati zoo. And so, basically, researchers are currently looking at DNA.
DNA! We've talked about that before. I know it's not Dan. I don't know what it is.
Basically, it's like what makes us who we are. Like our fingerprints and things like that, they all are programmed like a computer kind of by DNA. So they're looking at basically these dead birds, and they're examining what might have killed them a long time ago, because they don't know.
Oh, so what do the researchers think?
Well, they don't know yet, because I guess unlike the auk, there's no historical story about people killing the parakeets or something. So I don't know, but maybe it might be like a parakeet plague that killed them all. Oh, I don't know. Okay,
so I want to tell you about the coolest thing I've ever seen. In Quebec, you've got to go to the Montreal Science Center. It's so neat, okay? We love going to science centers.
Look, we actually live in a science center. Don't forget it.
Yes, but they have this whole place devoted to mental health.
Yes. So even if you're a little boy or a little girl out there, you can learn what mental health is. For example, there are many cool little things like this to do, but here's an activity. At this, during this, it's called the head to toe exhibit. But basically, health for head for toe. But basically, you sit down, and you wear one person, like let's say I would ask questions to Bram, like normal questions like, what color are your eyes? What's the weather like today? What is 5 + 4 or whatever? 9. Okay. But then meanwhile, there's some strange voices in the background going like, because it's showing you that people who, I don't know, have schizophrenia, who have serious, problems where like their brains aren't working the same way the rest of us are. And it makes you think about that. It's really, really interesting. You've got to check it out before it ends.
Yes, you do.
Well, everybody, this is, I don't know how to say in French, but do you say like au revoir or something like that?
I believe it's au revoir, yes. So it's very cold here, but it's time to go sledding. I've got a really nice sled, and we're going to go up and down the little mountain here. Mont Royal's got some great places to go. Okay, see you later.
Don't forget, boys and girls, that Little News Ears grows as you grow. So next year, Bram will be 5, and the news will be for 5-year-olds.
Can't wait. Bye.
Bye.
Don't forget to check out our videos on youtube.com and our teacher lesson plans and more on littlenewsears.com. May your sweetness shine.
And your colors glow. Blah! Sources for today's broadcast include the Washington Post, the New York Times, and the Union Journal.